What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. Alright, so just got back and I'm going to be leveling my sorcerer. We got up to 31 so far, and I'm going to be doing healing as a Sorc. As a Sorc healer. Pretty much got majority of the abilities I want. I just need to get more skill points. And, of course, then, besides that, I have to get skill points, lore books, because eventually he'll be a DPS. I always, have X amount of support classes, X amount of, DPS.
May we speak?
Sorcs are really good in healing, tanking, and DPS, whether it's DM, Magicka, whatever. I don't know. I just, I like to go a little different than a lot of people on some things. And then some things I'm just like other people. I have a similar structure, right? And I could say that for sure. So, but like I always try, like even if I use similar gear, which I always kind of try to switch it up a little bit. I'll use a little something different based on each class. And that to me is important because not all of the classes ever, react the same. Like back in the day, I used to go ahead and take them and have different monster sets. Why? Because of, the stats and, its functionality. The monster set's functionality. Like at one time, I used to use Kina on a sorcerer DPS build, and it was a heavy weave build. I used a lot of the dot effects. I would light up, add all the dot effects for the applied, and then do a heavy. Then start doing heavy attacks. It's not even a real tank. It's a fake tank. It's not even a real tank, man. Kick them. Jesus. Get your ass moving. Come on, let's go. Even a tank? You're not even a tank. These are normal. And yet you set a bad example. That's why I said, man.
And kill these interlopers. Tormented souls of the dead arise and kill these interlopers.
You got here just...
Oh my god.
First those nobles, and now you cretins? You don't belong here. Come to me, my minion. Come to me.
By the way, Nirnholm's become very popular. Anybody notice that? There's been a giant shift, but it's because of the update. Now, who called that? It's not because of the update. Who said they use it as an excuse?
Go around!
I didn't. Crazy, man. You know that we all make mistakes, and you know you would think they would just go ahead and credit and just say, you know what, Mystic figured something out, but they never will, ever. The pets are aggro to something. That's what sucks. There's oh shit. They're probably gonna start attacking, and then I really can't get in. Why doesn't Zosh just remove this door? You know, it's just...
I can't allow you to muck about in here. Know that it was Varain Pelengare who ended your life.
Oh boy. Jesus. This guy. Oh boy.
We've got you now.
Flank! Now!
Stick 'em, bleed 'em, and leave 'em for the...
I need that.
Aid me!
If I can target it. There we go. Ugh.
To the side! Set it ablaze! Burn!
Push it!
Heal me! Flank! Now! I'm gonna cut you up into little pieces.
Healer?
There will be no place for rabble like you when the Pelengairs rule Wayrest.
Sorc gets all ugly. Because they're just going to keep moving around.
There's your proof, Master Pelengair.
It's your children responsible for this madness.
Eileen, no!
Master Pelin, our investigation into Pelingers are one. The question.
It all starts right like this, and I think Zoss really does need to. Well, low level, you got to be slightly careful. Like for example, my resistances are scaled, right? Because of the way the scaling, the scaling system is, but it's still low. Like my stats, I mean. So you could still do like a tank at a low level at like something like, well, you know, it depends, but I think it'd be better, you know, just there'll be certain ways they'll get around it, you know, in certain scenarios, but I think it'd be a good start. Irish, what's up? You seen the fake tank topic on the forums today? No, I didn't. What's up? I did not see it. I just got a notification from my YouTube about catching people's attention or something. I don't know. What's going on? I was not aware. I'll have to take a look. You piqued my interest. I'm already interested in how the PvPers and both PvE and PvP have noticed some changes. The PvP effect wasn't due to the update. PvE yes, PvP no. And it's like, you know, guys, I'm really disappointed that you guys just can't just say, hey, you know, Mystic Raven figured it out, you know, blah 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 blah. But no, they can't do that. Instead, there's literally a couple people, not everybody, a couple of people are saying, well, it's because of this update. No, it isn't. You guys aren't using Nirnholm because of this update. You can say that, but it's not the reason why. But they are. Like I've said, I don't chase the meta. The meta chases me. I don't chase the meta. I was like that in school too. I'm like, I don't chase the popular kids. They chase me. When you want to stand out and you want to be different, then that's when everybody wants to be with it. You gotta have confidence though, man. I have confidence in what I do and what I know. I tell my girls, man, don't want to be like them. Don't ever want to be like anybody but you. The more confident you are with you, you know, I have my insecurities. I think everybody does, but is it with myself? No. You know. I got a queue again. Let me see what my bag. Yeah, we got plenty of space. Dude, you gotta fill me in though, Irish. I just, you know, I wish I could have seen that while I was in the dungeon. I'll have to check it out. I don't see what's the problem. Like, this dude will eventually be he will be a DPS, but I can play him in a healer role without faking it. Same thing with tanks. Speaking of, I do got to get on that Bosner and do my daily random to get my things. I'm going to finish leveling him this weekend. I'm hoping to get him and this one leveled up. That's the goal. I'll PvP with them a little bit, but I'll get just nauseous with it because I've known what I've done in the past, even with no proc sets. A Cyrodiil, I get obnoxious with the hard CC on this. I just do. It makes me feel a little like dirty.
No one goes into the gorge. Got that?
Do we say why the pass is closed?
Can I collect it? Well, man, this is Zos, man. What the hell is up, yo? Thank God for this add-on and it for working. I can't get any other add-ons to work. I have dumped them. I've updated them. I have done everything. And I only get this one to work. God, it's annoying. I would like my other add-ons. They're not as much of whatever. I mean, I could do without them. I'm not going to lie. But because I've done without them on console. You know, even this one I could look them up. But, you know, it's just a pain. I don't want to fight the boss on this one. And it's right there by the boss. Yeah, I know I'm going to get stuck. You think I do that mission too, because it's quick. Because it's right by the... Dude, what the heck is up with this stupid weaving lately? It's like got a mind of its own. It's like, yo, that was supposed to be a light attack, not growing into heavy? What the hell? Everything, the abilities are firing fine. Something weird's going on with my weave, though. I don't know. Yo, Bray Bray, what's up? How you doing? Why people say you're not good though? At what? I streamed the content. I cleared vet yesterday twice in Pugs. I get number ones in Battlegrounds all the time. I used to be number one in the BGs. So why do people say I'm not good? I don't know. They're on crack. They end up doing everything I say anyways. They do everything I say. Everything. All of it. That's why I have viewers. That's why I have like thousands of views on different build videos and stuff. That's why. They do what they do as I say. They always have, they always will. I'm always 2 steps ahead because I know the math.
Here they come. Ready.
Nothing whatever about it. It's just the way it is. They're all starting to roll 6-1 configs because of diminishing value. Because of all the changes. It's 6-1 config on type and on trait. That's what's even more crazy. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I've configured all 3 configurations. There's been 3 different forms of configurations during all the setup. I've done all 3. And had you told me, like, before I left, that we would see a 6 divine, 6 over, 6 over, I would have said no way. Unless there's a huge shift, right? Which they did. I could never see it happen. I would never have said that ZOS was never going to shift the values, you know, to an extent to justify that configuration. But yeah, you know, because of that 5 off passive, it is. It's very, very much more apparent. So yeah, I was shocked too. They never do what I do anyways. They could probably say, well, Mystic doesn't do what we do. You guys never do what I do. And I stream it. I don't upload this. I don't clip this. I stream this shit. One VX or Zerg. Dude, I suggest you take a look at my one of my fucking videos on fucking my battleground. I took out like 3 little lobies. 1vXing. Let me tell you something about this game and those fucking clippers. There's only a couple players I watch religiously. There's only a few PvPers I watch religiously. I support everybody. Right? And if they stream, they really get it. Mars, I watch. He streams. He's the DK. El Lobo, I watch. He streams. Fang Rush, I watch. He streams. My boy D, watch, stream. Right? If they don't stream PvP, I don't watch any of their shit. I don't watch a fucking one of them. I'll even look out for the next big name. And I'll see if they stream. And then, you know, I tell them, I said, okay, what campaign are you guys in? Not that I stream stock. I literally never stream stock to anybody. You know, if they're in Cyrodiil. My boy Nolan Kirchhoff. I watch him. I'm sub to him. He streams. And Zergling, dude, I used to have a Sorc that was a Sieger because I prefer sieging. And I ran Vicious Death, Haunting Curse, and I used to actually use a haunting, what I call the Haunt Bomb. On when blade bombing was big back in the day, I would defend keeps. I got nerfed. My build got nerfed for tanking 50 people in front of a keep. They nerfed my build. And everybody here would say that. So Zergling, guess what? Guess what? Yeah. How many people's build gets an entire nerf for actually exploiting the fucking games, the gear set, and it gets a giant nerf bat? Okay. The Sunder set? This Sunder Flame set? Who do you think got it nerfed? I used to exploit all sorts of shit. So suck. Let's see. Are you guys using Nirnhone in PvP this update? Yes, you are. You going to use the 6.1 config? Yes, you are. Who said you were going to do all this when he came back? Me. You guys do what I say. Always. You always will. You always will. Okay? You're never going to get at me because you're always going to do what I say in the end. That's a fact, Jack. That's a fact. There's never going to be anything that says otherwise. And I've never even claimed to ever be the best. And the only thing I say is I know my shit. I've been doing it a long time. I used to actually test for, like, well, the Warhammer, I was an alpha tester for Matt on that. I used to play his products before he, you know, got him and, Mark got rid of Mythic. I knew it was going to go under, too. Something got aggroed. No, come on. I hate this part. And then it makes me mad. Ah! Come on. Come on. Oh. Nope. Come on. They should just get rid of doors. Like this. See, something's not letting me sneak. Or I should say go invisible. Or cloak. I don't know what the hell back here. See, there's something that's got me in combat. Activities completed. Good enough. Bull crap. People are just scared of the truth. Am I right? Right. Homie, he is the same no life loser that has been. Yeah, he is. How's what? How's what? My son? What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? You know, Cody, is like, can I ask, did I say that Nernholm was going to be a thing? Because yeah, I remember, I think you were there on that stream with a couple people. We were all talking like about it. But I think there's somebody here that could say, yeah, Mystic actually streamed it. I actually have a video say Nern what? And now, oh my god, Nern is a thing. It's a thing. Fortified Nern Crux is a thing. No, you guys have had it for a year. A whole fucking year. It beats reinforced. It actually cushions the blow better than Impen after the nerf. It does. Well, like you can run tangents like how they're stacking it because there is a factor. You know, if you are going to, you know, whatever, like to the CP system and, you know, there's still a diminishing effect is what I'm trying to say. So you don't want to stack all the way too heavy due to diminishing returns. But from a base value, yeah. So you could still pick up critical resistance. And still pick up Nern, fortified. And then pick up your base resistance or more any type of offsetted resistance that you're lacking at shield system, whatever. You could even go health recovery. Health recovery, though, after they've adjusted it, right? Even with the no CP system, it's not going to be as effective in Battlegrounds due to the proc effects. You know, because the damage is so fucking heavy. They put so much damage in PvP this update. So it's like really like a lot of people are like, well, we're DPS getting nerfed. No, critical value got nerfed. Base damage got bumped a ton across the board. It got bumped. And I'm like, oh, snap. So when you take a look at the overall DPS effect, if you're doing, you know, a test dummy or something, it would seem like your overall DPS in comparison got nerfed. Well, yeah, that's true because your critical frequency has been diminished. It's been, you know, it's been snipped. It's been neutered. But base damage got boosted significantly. And so the devs actually said, you know what, we can't kill the DPS completely. So we'll raise the base stats, right? And that increases damage. That increases damage. And this is prior to any application of set or anything else. And now you can even stack your entire gear. You can stack. You don't even need to even gear with health. You don't need to gear. You don't need to ability. If you want to, you can. But you don't even need to allocate points into anything but your primary resource now. That's a boost across the board. That's a boost. And I said, you know, I rebuke. I found a way to get around the nerf to an extent, not all the way, but yeah. Because I'm like, you know what? I mean, you guys are fucking with mechanics anyways. I'm only getting the buff probably like 10, 15% of the time the way you guys have really hosed it. So I might as well just run Slime Crawl and have that buff consistently. So I'm going to take the base damage boost that you gave me. I'm going to increase that even further. I'm going to take the damage modifier from that, and now boom, baby, I'm good. And I'm melting shit. I'm melting every fucking thing. I'm annihilating it on stream. So yeah, okay. I'm carrying people. I'm good. But thank you. I should say I suck, but thank you. At 15, I think you don't know what you're talking about, William. I think you actually don't know what you're talking about. Not even a good troll. Oh my god. Oh my god. Can't even troll good? That sucks. Oh man, it's in there too. Fuck. That's the part where you have to do the quest, and I'm not gonna be able to get it. Well, maybe it's up here. That'd be badass. Yes. Come to me, my minion. Like, the set bonuses haven't changed. Did you notice that? Like, you know, most of your set bonuses are still the same. It's just that it is what it is. Let me check my inventory. I did have a kid as a minor. This is true. But you're way off. Way off. And that just goes to show, like, you are a stalker, but you don't even know what you're talking about, stalker. That's even scary, everybody. I got somebody who actually knows something about my personal life, but still doesn't even have that clue. Oh my god. Like, I'm an open book. But honestly, wow, you're even... I know who you are now, even more. Because you never get anything right. Nothing. You haven't gotten anything right ever. There's no diminishing returns. Yes, there was. Oh, Mystic, blah, blah, blah. Yes, there is. I mean, even when you're trolling me, you fuck it up. Jesus, man. Jesus, man. If you're gonna try to embarrass somebody, at least, which you can't, honestly. I mean, hello. I said the other day I was a piece of, I was a kind of a player back in the day. I started very young.
Where have you been?
But I dated older women. Well, I should say older women dated me. I don't mean no harm. It's kind of disturbing in some ways, actually. Like, I wouldn't have ever want any kids. Like, when my kids were young, man, I definitely, because everything I went through, was very protective. Like I said, you can't even troll me, man. I got skin thicker than steel, dude. Like, I've been around one of my dudes the next day dead and gone. Like, really, dude. I mean, seriously. You can't even troll me right. You are barking up way the wrong tree. You are barking up way wrong tree. Never got bullied in school. I didn't get picked on and just deal with it. Like, if somebody tried to pick on me, nah, man, I confronted it. I didn't walk away and turn the other cheek. Oh my God. I was like, hey, yo, man, you got something to say? No, I didn't think so. Then they get embarrassed. It's like, you know what? And then I'm the bully. I'm like, and that's why my attitude is this way. Because I confront the problems head on. I don't walk away. I just say, hey, man, do you got a problem?
To do something about our missing people.
I assure you, we're doing everything we can. We're stretched thin as it is.
That's who I am in life. That's why I'll call people out. Do I want to? No, I do not want to. I'd rather be copacetic. Like, I don't want problems. And I let that be known. So I'll ask, do we have a problem? Like I said, if people can't accept the facts, I'll just show them. Be at 6.1k damage, is now at 1.2 as asset. Don't know if it's deadly strikes. Still buffing leeching. No, that has to do with your CP. That's not your stats, that your CP, dude. That's not the base set. The base, like I just said, the base set stats didn't get nerfed. It's not the base stat. It was the CP system. So when the CP got adjusted, if you went off of the stat adjustment due to CP allocation, then yeah, your set got nerfed in that, maybe in that comparison, but it's not the set technically that got nerfed. It was literally your CP configuration. But yeah. Oh snap.
We need this.
2 mage books too. No. I'll clear all of this bitch. They were so kind. They were actually waiting to see if I had the mission. They're like, well, I guess we should wait to see if he has the mission. That's cool. I only got to talk to her like 3 times, I think.
All right, we've got work
More
to do.
skill points.
Many securing this beach.
More undaunted. Like I said, man, I like it. I think it's funny, man. I think it's hilarious. I've gone 2 years. People didn't pick up on the Nernholm thing. I don't know how they missed that. I don't know how the hell they missed it. That one's a shocker. They're probably like, oh look, they're like, oh yeah, the physical with the spell. Oh, what's the point of that? I mean, before I never got it because it was just spell. I mean, I should say, well, because I could offset it in the CP. Now you can't even do that. So now the devs were kind of smart about like weaknesses and strengths in class and race with this update. And let's just say there's other little secrets like nestled in this update that people still haven't caught on to. But once again, I'm not giving out everything. I do keep some little things to myself. Some things, not everything. Most of the important stuff, I give freely.
They are slaughtering you. Can't allow them any farther into these caves. Kill them. The time promised us.
I want every corner of this cave searched. Just because that Lamia matriarch's dead doesn't mean we get sloppy. If we get ambushed, someone's falling on their own sword. My soldiers.
Okay, we're good. So disappointing though, William. You didn't even get it right. So bad. So sad. Talk to me, boy. I don't mean disrespect. I don't mean no harm. Boom, 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 boom. Hate this autocorrect on my new phone with my orc fingers. Got you, Harold. Yeah, it sucks. True, the 9 of the... Right. Yep. And that's what it was, Harold. It was literally the CP nerf that literally caused your scaling. But that's where it kind of got us, right? Because when they took away those CP points, you think to yourself, oh man, that I got hit, right? And in the end, you do make up a lot of value when you get all the passives and everything, but you actually are limited based on what? Your, slotting capability. So it was a give and take, right? Oh, we're going to actually fix the system. We are going to nerf your damage. We're going to increase the base. Now, what I mean by base is prior to CP, your stat base, right? Now, and then we're going to nerf the critical value associated. That literally is before CP. There's a huge, cut prior to even the CP allocation. Then add CP allocation based on what? Restricted value, right? Restricted value is what we're looking at. Not overall accumulative value that we gain passively, but restrictive value in the essence of application, right? And unfortunately, that actually has to do with algebra, which I hated fucking algebra. So, it took me a minute to actually see what the hell they did. Because typically I just look for, more economic fundamentals. Like, okay, percentage-based equations. But no, they actually got pretty slick. And that's why I had to give them, like, a huge kudos. I'm like, you know what? I give it up to you guys. They actually did really good. A couple minor things, too. Like, I'll point out something after this. there's little mistakes they made. I mean, everything, you know, I mean, I'm not saying, you know, it's their fault. They just didn't take into consideration when, you know, doing it. And, you know, well, I don't think they did. But I'll point something out. And I noticed it immediately without even, you know, delegating any points. And that's why I said there will be adjustments. So I look for after Blackwood coming out. After Blackwood comes out, there will be at least 2 to 3 trees in the blue tree adjusted. The green tree expanded on. And the red tree refined. I'll put it that way. Based on observation. But overall, it is a long-term solution. And they knew that. Because a couple years ago, I mentioned, you know, there becomes a problem with the old CP system. Because they could have kept raising the cap. Like, they could have kept, you know, saying, okay, well, everybody's stuck at 810, so as a form of progression, we'll increase the cap to 900. I used to make this observation, right? And I said that before. I was like, I said, you know, it does them no good, because the further they increase, the law of diminishing value says the least that they'll gain less every time. That it just, sooner or later, it just stonewalls itself. That's what it does. You know, it's just like, you know, it's pointless. There's no satisfaction in the gaining process. This, in its conception, in its infancy, actually expands future application to what? More progression. Because it has control to the diminishing value, right? It'll have a controlled element to diminishing value. And then on top of it, not feeling like you haven't like my boys, I was trying to tell everybody in a stream, you'll gain it all. Eventually, all the passives, you'll even gain other unlockables, and you're going to be able to do what? Change your spec on the fly. And that's true. He's absolutely 100% accurate. And that is exactly, that's why I have nothing but respect for Zai. Because he saw it and he understood, you know, this is it's a better long-term solution. And it is. It literally is, because they can make the adjustments now without having to redo the entire CP system. They can expand, they can break down different trees, they can go into so much more detail because they've laid out the foundation. The old CP system had a huge problem because they couldn't control the diminishing rate at which they set the parameters. They couldn't. This, they very much can. Which makes me irked at the same time. I like it when people actually can't control things like that. But they, yeah, you know, they did. They made a few, you know, slight, you know, whatever. Unless it was intentional. I don't think it would be, though. But, yeah. And I really hate algebra. I was not good with my algebra, or my calculus, or my trig. Well, my trig actually somewhat I could be. I was good in geometry. But I really did not like Algebra 1 I did okay. I think most people do. Algebra 2, yeah, depending. There's one thing in algebra I don't like. So, oof. Like somebody asked me, you know, would I ever be a math teacher? No. I have family members who were, but I would never be. Mm-mm. Like business math I would be. I'd do that. In that long format, dude, I had to ask my friend, who's he's like a professor, and I'm like, dude, what the? He's like, do you really want to learn? I'm like, no, and he's like, yeah, well, I was like, but it kind of sucks, because you know, I gave my kids the right answer, but because they didn't write it in that format, you know, it counts against them. I'm like, the answer was right though. Well, that's not how they look at it, Dad. I'm like, oh God. My daughter had trig, like a trig problem that I had in like later years in junior high. I was like, what is this? She's like, it's my math. And I'm like, do you know what type of math this is? She's like, no. And I'm like, this is trigonometry. Why does a 7th grader have trig? I don't know. Well, I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, I understand that. And then my other daughter, she's good at like types of math I would never. I took physics, I didn't take chemistry. So all that stuff is like French to me. Like I said, there's a lot of things I'm not good at. I admit that openly. Openly. And I usually would date very sarcastic, intellectual women. They are awesome. I love them. They have to be sarcastic. They just can't be intellectual. No. They have to be so condescending. It's just, oh my God, I just love it. There's something about it. They're like, do you blah, 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 blah? And I'm like, oh my God. People are like, what? You look at... And I'm like, no, they're not. They're just they're intellectual. They do not like to deal with stupidity. They're all in the same field. You know, which I don't intentionally try to. Not all of them, just majority. Which is weird as well, because I've never asked a woman what she did. It was just that type that, you know, you like, what's your type? And I was like, yeah, I don't believe in a type. I so don't believe in a type. You know, I don't believe in that.
Indeed. Tamriel is fortunate.
Hold on.
Indeed.
Cool. The last person who made fun of my family was when I was 14 and I hospitalized a 16-year-old. They were twice my size and I was suspended for 2 weeks. Oh my God, algebra wrecked my mind. I could never understand it. You know, the algebra, I was fine with certain forms of algebra. I don't just, you know, I don't like I said, the devs this time really made me kind of like have to take a second look. Because they did apply a lot. Well, it's always mathematical principles, but you know they really. So let me show you guys what I mean here. Okay. So for example, we're going to take a look at a skill with unstable wall. Okay, and I like to do it in a general way. So people can understand what I'm saying instead of trying to get stupid, like nerdy or anything. Just from basic observation. Okay. 948 is its current capability. Right? Now. If I reallocate. Well, let's just say I drop it. As an example first. We're at 862. Okay. And now we can go into biting ore. Apply it. Oh. Confirm. Go back in. Now we're back at 948. You see, there's an indifferent value based on what? Remember I kept telling you guys there's indifferent values? Okay, that's economics. But these guys even went smarter because they used different forms of algebra and calculus to basically reduce diminishing value with indifferent value and then control it with another mathematical principle. Because you can stack the effect between the two. But you would lose somewhere else, thus having a compounding effect without being affected by diminishing rate, because it would affect one of the other slotted modifiers. So a part of it's genius, but a part of this is problematic. Because this is specifically applies to single and AoE. Anything with a dot effect. There are some AoE effects that do not have dot effects. But there's some, majority of your AoEs are durated. And because they're durated, it's a damage over time. So it's a dot, it's a duration. And I thought this was ingenious but pointless at the same time because of how many abilities are single target, you know, dot versus area of effect direct. Because we don't have a lot of area of effect direct. So the two stacking modifiers, people would think to themselves, oh my God, I'll stack both of these into my slots, thus increasing my overall damage, right? By 20% for that ability. But because of the scaling system, that makes that pointless due to what? The base scale of the stat system. So you could actually stack it and you would get 2 or 3 effects that would be effective, but not gain an overall output based on the loss of attributes. Because you unslotted scaled out attributes by percentage value. And that has to do with your calculus. So, little smart asses actually did good, but at the same point, I found it pointless. I was like, yeah, I see what you did, But why? I mean, you could have went down this road and expanded further, but you decided to really kind of like try to throw a curveball. That actually makes no sense. You know? I don't know. So there's that effect. So I did want to show that. So a lot of people would be like, oh, you know what? This is cool. I figured, no, you didn't figure it out. But, I mean, yeah. But you're not gaining. You're gaining in those effects. But now you're taking a hit on your what? Everything else, including your weaving. Because now your light attacks and heavy attacks get hit. Because of the law of indifferent values due to the diminishing rate. That's why I always said you got to understand diminishing marginal. You have to understand DRs, the law of diminishing return, and you need to understand the indifferent values associated because that's the only thing that offsets the diminishing rate. And if you don't understand that in its principle, then you're kind of hosed because then you're just sitting there always adjusting constantly. And it's okay to do that, actually. I still like doing it like old school. I still like, taking point by point, breaking down, that percentage, because then it gives me a clear cut of, the value. But they were smart. They figured out a long-term solution to keep progression going. Without, literally, that's why I said this game has 5 more years. Normally, I would said, they're hosed in like a year or two because, they really, really, really screwed up the DR system so bad in that game. Like, the scaling system, like for the proc sets, that's why, one of the reasons I love Fang Rush, he makes the point of the observation just to say this is over-tuned. It doesn't even have to run the proc. He just reads it, the base stats, then the effect. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if it's even over time. The duration, it could be like, 1,500 every half second, right? It doesn't have to be the total amount. And Fang Rush is like, no, this is bullshit. Like, he doesn't have to get into details. He can just tell you, this is going to be bad. His observation is very, very on point. So I'm like, yeah, that's another reason I like him, because he's very observant. I'm like, yeah, you would be right. that is very much whacked. So yeah. I found all the lore books in the Shan. I hate leveling lore books. I hate it. I still got to do all the ones in the other place. I mean, I'll be working Mage's Guild quite a bit. Look at all the I got some down here. But like I said, man, I honestly said that was going to be a problem. I did. I said you're gonna have a 6/6, a 6/1, a 6/1, 6/1 config, 6 medium over 1 heavy. Majority of configurations, 6 medium over 1 heavy. Majority of your tanks can go 7. Can. Why? For extra mitigation. But there literally comes a point where the diminishing value over dungeon bosses, unless you're doing vet, something that reduces it way significantly, you would still even be better with a 5-2 configuration in some scenarios. Because of the stat pool. But a lot of times, most tanks will run 7 configuration because of the mitigating factor, you know, in Constitution bonus. So, the Constitution bonus alone is a huge perk for the set justifying the loss of the stat pool, because it can just be justified to say I don't need 7 or 5-2 for a overall pool when I'm gaining the resources of the difference from the weave from the Constitution bonus, and they would be correct. So
This is taking longer than I'd planned.
yup, that's how it all breaks down, boys and girls. That's how it all breaks down. So, anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to take a break. And I'm going to learn some traits. And speaking of, I got a call. Anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. Once again, thank you and have a nice day. Hello?